So it's EML. A lot of people ask, why are you here? Why are you a nun? Why are you at Sravasti Abbey? Why are you a Buddhist? Well, there are many causes and conditions for that. And I'm going to give you a part of the answer right now. That's how fast it happens. Of course, I'm talking about death. One minute you're here in a precious human life, able to practice the Dharma and transform your mind. The next, you're in the bardo, wondering where you are, how you got there, maybe even who you are. And the only thing you really know is that you need something. And so your karma ripens and you reach out and you grasp it. And the next thing you know, you're reborn. And maybe you're in a precious human life like you have now. Maybe not. When I was a little girl, my Uncle Dana would take his kids, he had 8 of them, yeah. He'd take 4 of us, my brothers and I, and he'd put us in the back of a pickup truck on the weekends, especially in the summer, and we'd just go. This was when it was legal to do that, or at least not illegal to do it. And we go out and we go swimming, we go hiking, just being together. And we had a ball, an absolute ball. And then one day at the place he worked at, someone hooked up a gas line to a stanchion that was not properly marked. And there was a toxic cloud released, and he and 6 others died. It was just, he was there one day and he was gone the next. And that's what happens to us. And death happens to everyone. There's no way of avoiding it. It's inevitable. Everyone who is born will die, no matter who they are. Our lifespan can't be expended when it's time for us to die. And each passing moment, we get closer to death. When it's time to go, we go. And we're going to die, even if we haven't had time to practice the Dharma. When I first joined the Navy, I was assigned to VF-121. It was a fighter squadron. And we flew F-4 aircraft. And my aircraft was 046. I was not a pilot, I was a ground crew. I was responsible for making sure the plane was ready to fly. And one day, most of our planes went out to San Clemente Island to do some training. And they were out flying over the ocean, and plane number 044, they watched it go straight up into a cloud and then straight down into the ocean. They lost the plane, they lost the pilot, they lost the Rio. They never did find the Rio. They were there one day, and they were gone the next. See, for the most part, we don't know when we're going to die. The time of death is uncertain. But all sentient beings die, whether they're young or old. It doesn't matter. It takes a lot of effort to stay alive right now. Just think about the food you eat, the water you drink, shelter, air conditioning in the heat and the cold. Our body is very, very fragile. It takes a very small thing to make it stop working. Just think about how small a bullet is, or a virus. A few years later, I was working in Sicily on a flight line. And I noticed, it was about 10 o'clock in the morning, I noticed that my division officer was not there. And that was very strange because she was always there. She was a very good division officer and I respected her greatly. I also noticed that the people in the office were acting very, very strange. They finally told us that her and another officer had been partying the night before. They got up that morning, they were driving into work, they were still drunk, they were late, they were speeding, and they plowed their little Aston Martin into a tree, and they were both killed. She was there one day, and she was not the next. And when you die, wealth is no help to you at all. Rich or poor, you're going to die. Friends or relatives are not going to be able to help you. The only thing that's going to be able to help you is the karma that you're creating now, or that you created in the past. You're no longer going to have a body. You're no longer going to have a precious human life. You're no longer going to be able to practice the Dharma like you have in this life. And then there's this. This is not just some film clip I took off the internet. This is 1989 on board the USS Lexington. I was an air traffic controller that day. And I was working in the Carrier Air Traffic Control Center, CATC, which is a compartment that is just about directly below where this plane crashed. I was sitting at the scope talking to the inbound aircraft. Rudy was about 5 feet from me at another scope, talking to 4 civilians standing behind us. We were watching this film clip, but it wasn't a film clip, it was live. And we were listening to the LSO, that's the gentleman you hear yelling, wave off, wave off, wave off. And the civilians behind us were watching and listening also. I heard the plane hit the island structure and crash into the deck. And I was hoping it wouldn't come through it. Fortunately, it didn't. One of the ladies standing behind me started yelling, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God." And I remember I said, "Be quiet," very forcefully. And fortunately, she was. Chris came through the hatch and took the 4 civilians out. Rudy went to see what he could do to help. And I sent the aircraft that I was talking to back to Pensacola. There was 4 flights of 4 for 16 aircraft. And then the smoke started to seep in. It was just a light blue mist, but it was there. And it was like, okay, this is not very good, because I had to stay at the scope. Finally, my chief came in to relieve me from the scope. And since there was no aircraft there, and there was not going to be any aircraft, and he had a breathing device and I didn't, I let him relieve me. I left the compartment, and I had no clue whatsoever what to do. So I went down towards the hangar deck. I got about 3/4 of the way down, and I stopped, and I sat on the ladder that I was sitting on. And I was looking into the hangar deck, and I watched them take a stoke structure with a dead body across. I remember the arm hanging out. It was black, it was charred, it was bruised, it was blistered. And I remember the smell. And it turned out it was a gentleman who, not 2 days before that, had come to me looking for a sewing needle, just a little sewing needle. So in the Navy, we have these little 25-cent sewing kits. So I gave him one of the kits, and I told him he didn't have to return it. Now, I was pretty sure that he was not expecting to die that day. Nor was the pilot, nor the other 3 people that were killed that day. But when it's time to die, that's it. There's no do-overs, there's no second chances, you just go. And dying may take a long time, but death is very fast. And only the karma that you created in this life and previous lives will come with you when you die. See, this gives you a reason to set your priorities. Turn your attention away from the 8 worldly concerns to more important activities like compassion, wisdom, love, and kindness. Gives us a reason to make our life truly worthwhile and meaningful. So think about it. What's your refuge right now? Death and impermanence are major topics in Buddhism because it happens so fast. Between one breath and another, between one heartbeat and another, dead is dead. And no matter whether you die in your sleep, wrap a car around the pole, or plane falls out of the sky, dead is dead. It's the end of this precious human life and your ability to become awakened. And right now, I don't know about you, but it's doubtful whether I have any control over where I go next. So we practice now while we still have a chance.